So this is it. A big day looms for Jets fans. Here's what's going on. Aaron Glenn, the top choice to be the next coach of the New York Jets, is in the building. The Jets are interviewing Aaron Glenn a second time, in-person interview. And my understanding is this is not really an interview. This is the time for Aaron Glenn to sit there, to ask questions, to answer questions. If he gets those questions answered, I expect Aaron Glenn to be the new head coach of the New York Jets. That's a pretty big deal.
Has to be somebody who is a team builder. You can get the talent. The talent is one thing. Who's going to be that cultural leader?
Lige, what should their 2025 resolution be?
B-Mac, Jack, Mox, it should be to do whatever it takes to get a former Jet in the head coaching role, and that's Aaron Glenn.
A franchise's history is defined by the players and coaches that represent it. A past remembered with iconic moments, each era providing a new beginning. And in sports, sometimes to go forward, you have to go back.
34 yards in the pass play. Look in pass, it is intercepted. Aaron Glenn. Touchdown, Texas A&M.
The Jets have just made a trade with the Saints.
Okay, the Jets having traded with New Orleans with the 12th pick in this first round, select Aaron Glenn, defensive back, Texas A&M.
Aaron Glenn brings a lot to the table. I'm surprised he fell this far.
Throws for the end zone, and it's intercepted by Glenn.
30, 20, high step and 10, 5, touchdown, Aaron Glenn.
Every step taken is with one goal in mind: winning. As the team prepares to usher in a new era of New York Jets football.
So we do have some breaking news right now. Aaron Glenn has been named the head coach of the New York Jets.
This just in, the Jets have hired their new general manager.
It's Broncos assistant general manager Darren Mougey will be their new GM. He is considered a great evaluator of talent. Him and the new head coach to get in lockstep to make sure that they're taking this franchise in the right direction.
This is the top candidate. It's a leader. It's a guy who knows the organization, wants to be there. This is a home run hire.
I have the utmost respect for what you men do, because I know it's not easy. I know the grind. Man, I know how it is to get on that grass. Man, for 2.5 hours, you gotta fight. I know how it is.
Compete! We can have day one mistakes. We're gonna give you everything you want. I want the ball!
I don't give a damn what nobody else thinks. How you used to practice, but we not letting practice like that. And if you're not with that, you get the out.
I could not be more excited to take on this responsibility with AG as we work to build a championship team that will make the Jets fans proud.
To any players that's here now, put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges, but here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
Big news from Jets ownership. They have hired the 33rd team, which was founded by former Jets GM Mike Tannenbaum, to assist with the GM and coach search.
This team, with the right moves now, will be next year's Chargers.
The Jets are actually in a pretty decent spot. There is actual talent on this roster. There are pieces there where I think the Jets could be a desirable destination.
I don't think they're going to leave any stone unturned. There is a desire to get things right.
In less than 7 days, we're going to have what we used to call Black Monday, but really, it's a time where teams can start interviewing new head coaching candidates. The Jets getting a jump on their head coaching search. They've already been doing interviews for their general manager search. Now,
Chiefs, Mike Borgonzi, they've reached out to. Eagles, Alec Hallaby.
Brian Flores is the name I'm watching.
Aaron Glenn played for the Jets. He coached for the Saints. And so both of those teams very, very interested in Aaron Glenn.
Mike Vrabel, the former Titans coach, has emerged as one of the top candidates. He interviewed with the New York Jets, and my understanding is the interview went very well.
How quickly are these dominoes going to fall, and what do you think is the next one we see?
So Aaron Glenn is going to meet with the New York Jets on Tuesday.
This is probably the week, as it seems the New York Jets are getting imminently close to hiring a general manager and a head coach, with the runaway favorites right now looking like Aaron Glenn.
I do like Aaron Glenn to the New York Jets. I certainly think he's got the personality and the toughness here.
They will also have a second interview with Lance Newmark.
Tom Pelissero is reporting that the New York Jets are reaching out to Trey Brown and also assistant general manager of the Denver Broncos, Darren Mougey.
Very hard worker. I thought had great judgment and poise.
It's going to be a real interesting, what do we want to call it, 48 hours here.
NFL Live starts with some breaking news as the Jets have found their new head coach. Adam Schefter, what's going on?
According to Josina Anderson, it does appear the Jets have made their decision on their GM.
I felt like there was a real connection, and I felt the passion and commitment from Mr. Johnson and Christopher and the group, and really just hit it off from that very first time we met. And that as we went through it, and obviously studying the roster and seeing the talent here and the players was a big plus. And then once AG got hired,
you get right people on board, and then you create an identity with the players, you'll see winning. And that's what I've been used to. And that's what I want to continue to do here. Listen, for 9 to 10 years, all I've done was win. And I look forward to doing it here.
When you think back to your football journey, what does it mean to you to reach this point, the pinnacle of your profession, general manager of the New York Jets?
After playing 2 seasons in the NFL, Darren Mougey turned to scouting, proving to be one of the game's best talent evaluators over the past 13 seasons in Denver. He will now call Florham Park home as the team's new general manager.
It's pretty cool, and I don't even know that it's really sank in yet. I got here less than 24 hours ago. I was just finding my office this morning, and right now here we are. So I don't know that it's really sunk in yet.
First, for Darren, George mentioned that you had opportunities to leave. Were some of those opportunities chances to move up? And if so, why did you stay in Denver?
Yeah, there's been a few opportunities I've had throughout my career to maybe move to different organizations, but I've just never felt the need to leave. It's such a special place to work here with this organization, the Denver Broncos, obviously with Joe Ellis, John Elway, and now George Payton. We've got such a good thing going here. I work with such a good group of people. There's been a lot. I've been fortunate to have a lot of good influences. You know, George Payton, John Elway, some of the coaches, Gary Kubiak, John Fox, obviously Sean Payton. So I've been fortunate in that sense. And I've worked with a lot of good people. Talk about Adam Peters, Spytek, Dave Ziegler, just to name a few. We were all in that building together. So I've learned a lot, and I'm fortunate for that.
Because look, if you're a Jets fan that's stumbling upon this as we talk about this, Mougey, I think, is the right build, the right criteria for what you want in terms of a first-time general manager, because he's done the work.
What has he been through with the Denver Broncos? He's been through some quarterback situations, right? He's seen what not to do and definitely what to do when it comes to bringing in Peyton Manning, when it comes to the drafting of Bo Nix and finding the right coach and quarterback combination.
I met him 3 years ago. He actually interviewed me when he was in Denver, and then we kept in contact. And 3 years of talking about football, 3 years of talking about evaluations, 3 years of talking about players. I knew right then that there was a shared vision with me and Mougey. So I look forward to working with him. We're going to do some great things here. Man, he is a man's man, which I like. He's just a regular guy.
I think he has a unique way of motivating players and touching them and getting them to go and getting the most out of them. We've seen it throughout his history as a coach, and I expect no different here. You feel that presence. You just feel his ability to lead people. And I think that's what I'm most excited about, and the type of person he is.
When I came in as a rookie, he was the guy I went against every day. He's a good friend, great competitor, great leader. Very excited to have him in the building.
He's a competitor, so I think this is a really, really, really good choice for them. And actually, the young guys on his team, he'll bring them along, coaching them along, and showing them how to actually be a pro.
Observing AG, first of all, you just see a lot of energy. One thing that really pops out to me about AG is accountability. That's the first word that I think about, is just being accountable, not only to yourself, but to your teammates. And when you play in a team sport like the game of football, it's very important to be accountable to everyone around you, because that's how normally the best teams find ways to win and win championships.
I mean, the amount of hours that he grinds on tape to prepare his players, his coaches, but himself, for what he thinks is going to come and for where he feels like the game's going to go and what he feels like he needs to call in that time relative to what he believes that coordinator's going to call is there's nobody that works harder. And when you start talking about his leadership, he's one of these guys, he's special. He's special. He's got it.
20 seconds to go here on the Saints clock, and that's exactly what's happened. The Jets have just made a trade with the Saints, and the reason is that even though everybody and their brother had Charles Johnson, the wide receiver from Colorado, going to the Jets. I mean, I've read this in 45 places since February, and we learned a little bit earlier that perhaps that would not be the case. Jets looking to go defense, we believe.
Oh, wow. The first thing I think about is my dad. It's the first thing I think about my dad. Because he was so excited. He was so happy. And my mom was crying. Listen, she didn't know anything about New York. But she knew she didn't want her baby to be around that many people.
What's the biggest difference between the man you are today versus the kid that got drafted by the Jets in the first round?
Oh, man, that's a huge difference. Because I've grown in so many different ways. Obviously, as a player, I grew through my 15 years of playing in the NFL. And then started my role as a coach of understanding how to win games and how to sustain winning, how to build a winner or from the bottom. Those things were valuable life lessons in my life. So I plan on taking all those lessons I've learned, right, and making sure we get a chance to use them here.
You guys want to go in first? We good, Meg?
Yeah.
So, Christopher, Ironheim, you guys can go in first. Let's sit you down. We'll be opening up. Yeah, the opening up. Hey, hi. All right. Have fun. This is like, let's go, guys. Let's do it. All right, Coach. Thank you.
You can't write a better story than what's going on in my life right now. From 94, being drafted here with the 12th pick, 2012 coming back as a scout, and then now being the head coach of the Jets. You can't write a better script than this here. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. There's a lot of changes going on, rightfully so. Man, I'm looking forward to working with Woody. I'm looking forward to working with Jaime. I'm looking forward to working with Mougey. And we're going to build something very special here.
I will say that the candidates we picked are all excellent coaches and general manager candidates. They really are. The fact that these guys emerged at the top, and it's a clear top, was really a credit to them and how they performed and their history and all the accomplishments that each one of them had in different ways.
It is one of the greatest honors and privileges of my life to be named General Manager of the New York Jets. This is a proud franchise with great tradition and incredibly passionate fans located in one of the most iconic cities in the world. I could not be more excited to take on this responsibility with AG as we work to build a championship team that will make the Jets fans proud. The passion for the game, the passion and the care for the players, the fans, his football acumen, it was instant. We got to talking about this Jets team and the vision and the franchise, and we were in lockstep right out the gate. Same vision, we were speaking the same language. So I can't wait to work this partnership and bring the Super Bowl back to the New York Jets. And finally, to the Jets fans, you have my word that AG and I are going to pour our heart and souls into this job and do everything we can to get a Super Bowl back to this team. Thank you.
I wear glasses now. Before I actually get started into my my thank yous, I want to say that I got to thank God. I would not be standing here if it weren't for Him. So I want to make sure I acknowledge that. My biggest influence in my life were my parents. My dad passed years ago. And when it comes to work ethic, that's where I got it from. I'm talking about 4 in the morning until the job is done. And that's what you're gonna see from me. My mother, nurturing, sacrifice, raising 11 kids. 2 of them played for this franchise, my brother Jason. Learned so much from her, and also how to lay the law down also. My mom was good at that, so I wanna thank them. My backbone, my wife of 28 years, Devaney Glenn. I could not be in this position without you. My rib. You're special. You're special. My 3 kids, my son, Aaron II, my daughter Tristan, my daughter Reagan. They should be coaching because they know this game just as well as I do. My man Darren. Bro, we're in this thing together. Again, we met years ago. I had a feeling. And to now, see that it comes to this. It's outstanding. We're gonna do some magical things here, bro. Some magical things. I look forward to it. To the former players, my guys. Listen, I would not be here without you men. The expectations hasn't changed. It hasn't changed.
A trip to Denver and the AFC Championship game is on the line today as the New York Jets host the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC playoffs. The Jets hosting their first playoff game here at the Meadowlands since 1986.
Oh, quarterback, tries to cut back inside the 5, touchdown. Curtis Smart airing it out. He's got a man, Dietrich Ward, touchdown, New York Jets.
They completed the most dramatic turnaround in league history. From a 1-15 record in 1996 to division champions just 2 years later.
Turning around a franchise is not unfamiliar to head coach Aaron Glenn, who learned from some of the game's best coaches, including Bill Parcells.
Bill Parcells, who I think is the best coach to ever coach this game. He's taught me a ton, and just to be in his presence was something special for me.
They're obviously 4-28 over the last 2 years, the worst record in the NFL. Got a lot of work to do.
What does he plan to do? I mean, he gets there at 6:20 a.m. Did he talk to the media? Was he friendly when he arrived that early?
To take on this, what I view as a consummate challenge, to hopefully revitalize this franchise to the point where we can compete for championships. And every place I've ever been, that's always been my goal.
Well, there's a lot of unfinished business here for me. I talked about in '98 when we lost in the championship game to Denver. I want to bring that feeling back here. I mean, that was one of the best years of my career of winning with the Jets. And winning here in New York City, there's nothing like it. Listen, I want this job. I interviewed for a number of them, but I wanted this job. When I was going to my second interview, I want to make sure this is going to be the second interview. It's going to be the first of the second interviews. Because I didn't want to leave the building without shaking Woody's hand and make sure we had a contract. So I'm just telling you now, everything else was really out of it. It was all about the Jets, and it's been that way from the beginning.
Well, the first thing is I'm going to be Aaron Glenn, no matter what. I'm a very authentic person.
With the foundation in place, the work is just beginning. As the future comes into focus at One Jets Drive.
I mean, makeup is very important, and AG and the staff and I are going to actually start those conversations tonight, because I think that is a collective, collaborative approach on what we are going to look for in each player, from makeup to physical traits. And we're working that process right now. Getting good people that love the game, and I would say that's the number one.
Everyone talks about, I give this rah-rah speech on what the identity is. Here's what I believe. Watch us play. Just watch us play. And that's going to be your identity. So you can say whatever you want to say about who this team is going to be. Our team is going to show you that identity. I don't have to tell you that. We're going to show you what it is.
These feet will need to walk a lifetime. These souls are heavy with regret. Await my judgment at the end of the line. I ain't perfect, but I do my best. Gotta walk down the line. Gotta walk down the line. Said I gotta walk down the line. I know Lord, show me which way is mine.
Listen, there's no surprise that I'm here. I mean, to me, it was meant to be. Again, being drafted here, scouting here, now being the head coach. I know for a fact God placed this on my heart. He placed this on my life. So I'm gonna make sure I do everything I can to repay him for this, for what he's done. And that's to be the best damn coach I can be and give these players everything I can give them. Okay.